Live from my apartment, it's Rob Has a Podcast. And now, here's the guy who, with a heavy heart, has to talk about the fall of our big brother, Messiah. I am Rob Cesternino. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our Big Brother live eviction recap to talk about the night that Jose, at least for now, has left the building. He is out of the Big Brother house, the victim of the first vote of the season, and here to talk it through with us, somebody who shared that very house with two of the players in this season. Welcome back to the podcast, the great Johnny Mac.
Hello, what's up? Thanks
Johnny
for having me
Mac with sans sleeves tonight.
Yeah, I forgot that my dog ate them or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're missing.
John, how you doing?
Good. Just hanging out. Doing
Yes.
the dentist thing and watching a little Big Brother. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So here we are, and of course, to join us to talk about the live feeds as well. And later on tonight, we will get into potentially by the end of this broadcast, we'll have a new HOH. Brent Walgamont. Brent, how are you?
Rob, there was supposed to be a boom. What happened to the boom tonight?
What was the boom?
When
Messiah
Jose was evicted, there was absolutely nothing. We were looking forward to a fabulous eviction blindside, and we got...
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll talk about all of that here tonight as we are getting ready to crown our second HOH. And, of course, we have the big twist, which is coming back, the battle back. No more battle of the block. We're going to battle back into the house, and we will talk through all of that here tonight live. Hashtag RHAP, and also you can follow us on our YouTube channel and leave comments there. robisthewebsite.com/YouTube. We'll also have a live feed update coming up on Friday morning and some exit interview questions from Jose. That's all coming up Friday on the podcast. All right, Johnny Mac, what must it be like for you to watch Big Brother 18 and see James and Davon in the house, the Oz twins in the audience?
Yeah. I saw
Oz twins without Austin. I guess the twins just in the audience.
Just the twins. A little quick shot of them there. That was a little. I almost didn't catch it. I'm like, oh my God, it's the twins and Jeff Schroeder awkwardly sitting like 3 seats away from them. I'm like, why couldn't they just put them together? I didn't know.
Yeah, Lawan in the audience tonight too.
What was that?
Lawan was out in the audience tonight too, I think.
Was he?
Yeah, he had special powers.
Handsome fight in the audience. Okay.
The twist is he's gonna battle back.
He's going to battle back. All right. So let's just talk about this new twist that we're going to see where it's basically, I tweeted earlier, it's Redemption Island from Survivor. We're going to see the first 2 people who are out of the house square off against each other to battle in a competition. Eventually, somebody's getting back into the house. I'm not sure at what point the merry-go-round stops or the music stops in this game of musical chairs. I think maybe probably once Big Brother finds somebody that they like to put back in the house. Okay, this is the week. Somebody's going back in.
They said 5, Rob.
Oh, 5. Okay, I apologize.
Yeah.
I apologize. And so here we go. And so do we know, first off, when the battle back is going to happen? Do we have to wait another week?
They didn't announce that, and it certainly wasn't clear from the episode when Julie Chen was announcing, the way the week's going to go at the end. It could be something on CBS.com. It could be something that they put on the show. I really don't know. I have to think they're going to put it on the show somewhere, but their shows are pretty packed nowadays.
Yeah, might have to fall on the Thursday show, but that I don't know. Johnny Mac, do you like this twist?
Yeah, this is a cool twist. I mean, especially doing it at the beginning of the season. I think there's more potential for whoever comes back to stay because they're going to miss out on a lot of the action. If Jose goes back in after 5 weeks, everyone by that point is going to be like, all right, we don't really care that you're a jerk because we have other agendas going on by this point. So they have a chance to make it farther for sure.
As somebody who left the house and came back in, you give it the stamp of approval?
I think I have to. If I said I hate people that resurrect, then I'd be like, wow, I hate myself.
You're the messiah of the people who came back into the house.
Yeah, I guess
You could have been the
besides-
first person, I think, that left the game and then came back and won.
Wait, what was the first part of that?
No, I think that you could have been. That's like such a stigma, somebody who goes out and came back. But your circumstances were so unique that I feel like you could have broken that curse.
Yeah. I gave it a run for its money. Yeah.
Been that guy.
Didn't go out right away, right?
Yeah.
Me and-
But boy,
what,
poor
Amy did
Glenn,
well.
that this guy came out to Big Brother ready to wheel and deal, and he had all this strategy. He's going to flirt with all the women in the house. That this guy is about to be eliminated from the game for the second time based on losing a competition.
Yeah, that sucks. This is like Jody all over again, right? It wasn't even like, at least Jody got voted out. He just lost competitions. Like, people could have loved him.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? He could have been the one everyone was going to follow, but he just lost the competition, and that's all
Rob,
that got
I
out of the game.
think Jody would have given her left arm to compete in the battle back competition. So I throw no shade on Big Brother for doing this. I think it's fine. I actually only wish that the house guests knew it was happening. That might affect their decision about who they vote out and who they don't. So I'm kind of bummed that they're not telling the house guests, because I do think that it could have ramifications on the vote.
Yeah, that's interesting because in Survivor, Redemption Island, and South Pacific, obviously the people in the game knew it was going on, and that did factor into who they were sending out of the game, and they got to watch the competitions. But, Johnny, what do you think logistically in terms of where are they going to do these competitions? I mean, you think you wouldn't be able to do them in the backyard unless everybody came back out to watch them, and that seems problematic. Are you going to do stuff on the stage? Are we going to have like some sort of separate Redemption Island arena?
Yeah, I really don't think space is an issue. There's plenty of competitions that you could do, like thumb wrestling, arm wrestling, maybe like kickboxing or Rochambeau and all that. I mean, these could be some high-stakes, intense competitions that I really don't think you need a lot of space for, so it could be anywhere, really.
So we just do it on the stage with Julie on the Thursday Eviction show.
Yeah, sure, and she could wear like a referee outfit. I think that would be pretty awesome, actually. She could blow a whistle.
Yeah.
Touchdown.
So that's good. I think it'll be interesting to see. And, you know, I do feel like in the beginning of any Big Brother season, you do kind of see a couple of guys who are the comp threats go out early in this season. I think that if you were to keep this going in a lot of years, I do think that you would end up with some of these, for lack of a better term, like meathead guys who go out of the game in the first couple of weeks coming back in.
Yeah, that just winning their way right through this thing. Like, we could put Ozzy in there, right?
Well, yeah, he really benefited from a Redemption Island.
Yeah.
He came back from Redemption Island twice in one season. So somebody like that. But I'm just thinking of, you know, whether it's a Jeremy in Big Brother 15 or maybe somebody like a Jeff in your season, or like there's always a couple of guys that go out really early who people are like, oh well, he's going to be good in competitions.
Yeah, totally could change this around. Jose could be like way towards the end now.
Yeah,
he's like typical first boot. Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. So, all right, so talk to us about Jose, because it was so much fun to watch this disaster and not a literal train wreck like Becky, but a figurative one this season. So what was your take watching a week and a half of Jose on TV?
He's amazing.
Yeah.
Jose, like, I don't think this is possible. How could you think that you're in control when you see all these people hang out up in the HOH room and none of them are your friends? Like, how do you not see what's happening in front of you? It's just like, this is a weird superpower he has to just put the blinders up and just be so convinced, like, I got this. Not even all the votes in the world could take me out of this game. I'm like, that's some great confidence there.
Yeah, Jose is so amazing that he's wrong all the time in the game, even though he tells us
my intuition is always right.
It's always right. His intuition is always right. But then Julie Chen asked him, Jose, what happened? He's like, you know what? It was Natalie. Natalie flipped against me, and I knew it. This was what was going to happen. He's not even right about what went wrong, Johnny.
Flashback to Natalie in the diary room. I vote to Vic Polly.
Yeah.
Like, totally missed everything. Like, I just don't know how you missed that much, and that's why, you know what? You should bring Jose to the end.
Bring him to the end.
Right,
Yes,
that's
Brett.
what you were saying, Rob. I was just going to say that he did have a kernel of truth in what he was saying about Natalie, because although Natalie did vote to evict Polly, she was in on the plan as far as being in the know. She knew Jose was going to go home, and I think it was written all over her face. So that's why he might have picked up on something from Natalie that was giving him sort of a false positive.
Brett, could you just update us from overnight that we were under the impression this was going to be a blind side? So did Jose ultimately know that he was going to be going out? Because he was dressed for the competition tonight.
No, he didn't know he was going to be going out. As far as I can tell, and again, they shut off the feeds a few hours before the show starts. But from all I could see, he went from, I tweeted this, he went from supremely confident that he was staying to just being sort of confident that he was staying. I think he just didn't want to face the fact that there was even a possibility that he could go home. Then he started clamoring a little bit to a few people that, you're on my team, and I'm honest with you, so make sure you vote the right way tonight. And I just don't think he wanted to face the fact that his reality was not the reality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, Johnny Mac, what was the thing that impressed you the most about Jose during his time in the house?
Oh my God. Sitting back and observing like a hawk. That's a hawk that's probably going to be starving or something. They're not going to find many things with that kind of vision. I liked him calling the meeting in like a haphazard way, and then whoever just felt like coming in the room was automatically on his alliance. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
okay, I'm running this meeting, and yeah, you're with us because you're in the room. Clearly, you're not with those other people. That's all it takes to be on Team Josiah and earn his trust there. So that's pretty awesome.
He had a couple of great moments, too, on his eviction night. He had the moment with Davon early in the episode where it was like sort of like the light bulb went off in his head, and he realized that it was Paulie who won the power of the roadkill. He figured that out tonight and told Davon about it.
Yeah, that like Sherlock Holmes right there. He's got it. Obviously, it has to be Paulie. Out of those two that were put up, gotta be him.
Yeah, and then he also had the great moment with Nicole where they said, maybe Jose, what you need to do is make a personal connection with Nicole, and just in case things that go, he's like, oh, fine, I know I'm safe. Like, I'll just do it anyway, just to make you guys feel better. And
he's kind of like dragging his feet, like, fine.
What a disaster this Revolution team was, that they're even thinking about the possibility that a tie could actually happen. I mean, there's no way in the world that a tie is going to happen with this much on the line. It was just foolhardy, and I think the only reason CBS put it in the show to begin with was because it was hilarious watching Jose go up to Nicole and try to sort of campaign for her vote without actually telling her, hey, I'm campaigning for your vote just in case it ends up in a tie, like 5-5 to 1 or something like that. People were tweeting me, how does it end up in a tie with 11 people voting? Obviously, if 3 people get votes, then that's how it could end up in a tie.
Yeah. Johnny Mac, I want to get your take on the people that you played with and sort of just get an update in terms of what sort of growth have you seen, if any, from these two players. So let's start with Davon, who comes back, who... If I recall, did you throw a Battle of the Block to get her up on the block that time?
Yeah, and she did most of the throwing, right? Yeah, the first time around, I just let her play her heart out, and it got her kicked out the door. What I will say is she has survived 2 evictions already. Well, one voting eviction, right? But like. Two evictions. So
the second one, that's the tough one.
Statistically, she's the most improved player right now, right?
No, she's on par. She's gotta get 2 votes.
Yeah, okay. We're going by votes. Okay, if we're going by votes, she's made it just as far as she did last time, which I can't say that about the other 3. So that's definitely an improvement on her part. I think she's definitely trying to scale back the what got her in trouble last time, talking so much. She hasn't blown up yet, really, from what I've seen. I mean, nothing that's made the show. I've seen some feeds, so nothing like on the scale of last year in week 1. But from what I've been hearing, she's kind of going around and starting to like undercut people on her alliance a little bit, like to each one of them, and I think it's a little early for that, and that might get her in trouble.
I will say, in Davon's defense, you heard tonight that it was 16 days for week 1. 16 days for week 1. Yeah. Seriously, I can understand why Davon is trying to play a little bit too hard, too fast, because they're all going nuts in there. They want, I mean, things have been stagnant for the past, 9 days since we've been watching the feeds. So, of course, they're trying to game. And, you know in your head that you can't win the game of Big Brother during week 1. But when it's that long, you're just jonesing to make a move.
Yeah, the instincts kick in. Instincts kicking, that's it, yeah. And then you're just like, I gotta set myself up for the second one.
What about outside of the house after the game was over? Did you have any relationship with Davon, just in terms of keeping in touch after the game was over?
Just texting randomly here and there. Nothing really about the game or anything. Just because she's so far away. Like I'd never get out there to see her or anything. Nothing bad. I think we're on really good terms. Yeah.
Okay, and so you'd say you guys are friends.
Yeah. I think if we were in that house together, she wouldn't come after me immediately. That's a good way to put it, right?
And do you feel like you've seen a change in her game from last year?
Yeah, it's definitely she's trying to hold back a little bit, and like you could see her trying to do that, and that's what she needed to do. It's just, is she holding back enough? It's really tough. But like Brent said there, just sitting around that first week, especially without someone like Audrey stirring the pot. I mean, someone has to be the pot stirrer.
Yeah. I mean, how bad...
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but just one example of how Davon is playing better this year, her goodbye message. Last year she would have left one hell of a goodbye message for Jose. This year, she said specifically on the feeds this year that she was thinking that there might be a chance that the pre-jurors could come back. She is a super fan of Big Brother. She realizes it's been, 3, 5, I don't even know how many seasons it's been since a pre-juror has come back into the game. I'm trying to think really quickly. Maybe it's been 5, 6 seasons. But she was thinking that this was a possibility. And so she made sure that her goodbye message was truthful, but yet tactful with not a lot of shade. And, of course, we want good TV, so we didn't really get that. But she's playing the game better, and so I can applaud her for that.
Okay. Yeah. How bad was the situation last year where we saw Davon really get into it with Clay? Was that blown up more on the show than it was in the house?
I still haven't watched the show from last year, but in the house there, it was bad enough that Clay decided that him and Ellie needed to go after her. Don't even try to backdoor her. Try to set up all these things to make sure she's sitting on that block that Thursday. So she ticked them off, and they were guns blazing after her, and her specifically that week.
So I have an update coming in.
Breaking news are happening now.
All right, sources are reporting that CBS has tweeted out a release schedule for the battle of not the battle of the block, the battle back to get into the house. Apparently, all of the battle back competitions, the tournament, will take place all in one special episode on Friday, July 22nd. So the great Big Brother 18 tournament to get back into the house, it will all play out one night on Friday, July 22nd.
Wow. My God, you cannot be serious. I thought you were going to come on and say that Jose has been asked to host the Grammys this year or something like that.
Yes.
I'm serious. I thought you were having fun. They're going to make Glenn wait.
Poor Glenn. He's never going to see the Boogie Down Bronx again.
He's going to have to wait a month and a half, and then on the night that the competition happens, he's going to have to win not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 competitions in a row in order to get back into the house. And the whole time he's stuck in some Holiday Inn somewhere.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Poor Glenn.
For our entertainment. So we can eat popcorn and stuff while we're...
I
Yes.
can't
Loving
believe
it.
that.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Okay, that's all coming up later this summer, July 22nd, in a special event, the big Boogie Down Battle Back on Friday the 22nd.
Boogie down.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk James and how he's doing this second time around. Of course, that you went tip-top toes with James for America's favorite house guest. I think it's well documented where we stood on this show in terms of who is our favorite of the names on the ballot. So, what's your take on the return of James?
So, what I expected out of James is not what I'm seeing. Like, I'm kind of surprised by James. At least from the edited version, he's pretty calm in the diary room. He's not trying to overdo it or anything to like feel the pressure to stay on top of that America's favorite, going to toe-to-toe with Frank Udy there. You know,
Yeah.
so that I like. From the feeds, I've heard that he's been pranking probably a little too much, and he's gotten into an argument or two there, which might put him in trouble there. So from the edited show, he looks like he's sitting golden right now, but apparently he's gotten into an argument or two over the past couple of days over pranking.
Yeah. What's it like living in the house with James and all the pranks?
It's fun. I mean, mostly he targets the girls because he's just trying to flirt. So, like, I got side pranked one time. Like, I was a side casualty. I grabbed a honey-coated door one time, but a bunch of other people did as well. So I haven't really experienced all of his wrath of closet jumping and putting substances in bottles like everyone else has. But it's fun to watch. I think the reactions are the best part, too. He picks the right people to get some good reactions. So.
Do you think he's going too far in terms of what he's doing with that? Put mayonnaise in the shampoo. He's dropping chips on people. Brent, any other highlights from the live feeds?
Sorry, I was looking at the chat room. The rap chat room. No, he's doing the James thing. I mean, look, this is why they brought James back to Big Brother. They didn't bring him back because of fabulous diary rooms or because of his masterful gameplay. They brought him back because he knows how to play the game, and playing the game is being on when the cameras are on and playing a prank on somebody to get on television. Now, you may not like that. I don't really like that, but I feel like that's what he does when he sees the cameras are on him or moving toward him. He's like, oh, time to play a prank now. Time to be on TV. So, this is what you get from James, like it or not.
Okay. So, Johnny Mac, do you think that James has a evolution in his game where you feel like can he take the next step and be a contender this season?
I think the problem this season is not him, it's the cast. Like, from my perspective, the first time James played, what got him far in the game was once a lot of his alliance was voted out, it was just him and Meg left, inseparable duo. And you had a bunch of you had Austin, the twins, a trio, and then you had like me and Steve, or Steve and Vanessa, or me and Vanessa, whatever. However you wanted to split up, you had all these pairs. If you're HOH, you're looking at these other pairs, and you're like, I have to split a good one of these pairs up. And you look at James, all right, he's won a couple HOHs, he's won a veto, Battle of the Block, and then you look at Meg, she hasn't really won anything yet besides that one Battle of the Block, and you're like, I'm not as threatened by them as a pair as other pairs. Now this season, a lot of these girls seem like, it has yet to be seen, but a lot of them look like they could win a competition. So if he does the same thing and tries to team up with whoever he's smitten over, they might be a more threatening pair this time, and they might get broken up sooner rather than later. So I think that could put him about middle of the pack where he was last time. I don't know.
Can James control his, I want to choose my words carefully, that his feelings for the women in the house? I do feel that he does these pranks and he ends up sort of endearing himself to the women in the house, a la Meg, but I feel like that he always takes it the wrong way and then feels like that it's heading in a showmantic direction.
So are you worried that he'll fall head over heels for someone? That could totally happen again. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens.
Yeah, yeah. Like I feel like that we ended up seeing during the show. Even tonight, I felt like that he was trying to go there with Natalie. I felt like that we were headed in that direction.
Yeah, and I've seen a couple feeds or clips from the feeds that he's had like a couple conversations with Natalie, like game talk and everything like that. So I think, yeah, he'll definitely get a little too lustful.
Yeah, actually, we have a clip of one of James's talks with Natalie.
Natalie's butt is right in my face. I mean, literally right here. Normally it would have to be a good...
It's so deep. I mean, he's speaking to so many emotional levels there that this connection is going to overcome a lot of things in this game. I think people are going to see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So not only do we have two people that you played with, we also have the sibling of somebody that you played with in the game this season. What has been your take on Tiffany?
Tiffany, I mean, the obvious mannerisms, voice, accent, everything, very similar to Vanessa. I mean,
Yes. Here, I have a clip.
This is typical you, Vanessa.
Yeah. Typical Vanessa.
Typical Vanessa. Definitely very confident in the diary. I haven't seen a whole lot of Vanessa's diary rooms, but especially early on when she was like getting a lot of diary room time in those first couple episodes, very confident. So she's very cool and collected. Did what she needed to do, aligned with the vets. I mean, she's very smart. There's no doubt about that. So yeah. I'm waiting to see how far she goes, too.
Now, you had a front row seat watching Vanessa's game in Big Brother 17. Do you feel like that Tiffany could potentially be a better version of Vanessa that could ultimately win the game, maybe without whatever weaknesses Vanessa might have had in there? Or do you feel like that she is not as good of a player as Vanessa might be and won't go as far as Vanessa?
It's hard to say whether they'll go as far or not. I think she's on par with Vanessa. I think like one of Vanessa's problems was always like calculating, always thinking things, and people could sense that and got a little uneasy about that. As far as I could tell, maybe Brent could like correct me on this from the feeds. It doesn't look like she's calculating all the time. It looks like she can just sit back and hang out for these first couple weeks, even though she's probably has all this going on in the background.
Right. I would say she's definitely a little bit more social than Vanessa is, and trying to relate to people, having a bit more empathy with some of the people in her alliance, which is something that I think Vanessa lacked. But she does have the same, and I want to choose my words carefully, emotional outbursts, and she can get into arguments with people where I think, the better part of valor would be to choose not to get into arguments with people like that, and we can talk about that more in the live feeds.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the other house guests tonight that were featured on this episode. And really, it was not a great night for Victor. We got to see the Victor and Natalie confrontation, and Victor looked bad. Paul looked bad. John, that I'm not feeling so hot for the newbies.
No, they're not. They're not the brightest people. A lot of the guys. There's a lot of muscle there, but not brain muscle. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately for them. Yeah, and I don't think that they did their homework. A lot of them. They're just getting too angry.
Johnny Mac, does it bother you when people walk on the bottom of their pants?
Oh my God, all the time. Think about how those pants feel. Would you?
Yeah.
How would you feel if someone stepped on your toes and you're going and you're stepping on your pants' toes constantly? Like, how do you expect them to serve you well when you're being such a jerk?
Yeah. How about when Victor was telling Natalie that she should go ahead and not be eating so many carbs in the house?
I don't think you're ever supposed to ever tell a girl anything like that.
Especially a girl like Natalie. I mean, as she said, and she said this on the show, she can get any guy she wants outside this house. And I'm sure she can. So I don't know what the heck he's talking about there.
Yeah. I mean, if anyone's
Yeah.
in danger of being overweight, I mean, he's bigger.
Oh, hey, don't be like Michelle, Johnny Mac, and criticizing people's weight. All right, so Brent, tell me, has Victor gotten an unfair edit? Do you feel like that? Did Big Brother just cherry pick a couple of quotes, or that's basically Victor in a nutshell?
That's basically Victor in a nutshell. I think Big Brother's been very fair with Victor. He's definitely a bit of an ass to Natalie, I would say at times. I'm sorry, that's really what he is. I can't use another word for that because he doesn't know how to control the ramblings and the little spontaneous things that come out of his mouth, and it makes her feel bad, and she gets her feelings hurt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We got to see a little bit of the confrontation, though, that we saw with Paul after James said, hey, we're having girl talk in here. Get out of here, Paul. And so then Paul came back, and he was really upset, and Bronte had to come and talk him down off of the ledge. He's really worked up about that. It seemed to alienate Bronte in the process there. Brent, is that how that went down?
Yeah, pretty much. She just, I think, realizes that she's on a sinking ship at this point, and she doesn't like the people that she is effectively in an alliance with. I think that her status in the game, though, will change moving forward. I don't think a lot of people are going to go after her. I know earlier in the week Taryn had made a reference to the fact that Bronte is one of the names on people's lips. I don't think that she will be one of the people at the top of the list if somebody in the majority alliance gets power this week, but we'll see.
Johnny Mac, have you had any experience with Nicole or Frank?
I haven't met either of them. Nicole was in the background of a FaceTime with Andy Herron one time, so I didn't actually, like, they were out at a bar somewhere, so I couldn't even hear either of them. They were just FaceTiming people, so I haven't actually spoken to her.
Yeah.
Frank, no, I haven't had any contact with him at all. I did meet Paulie, though, on the side at one of the casting calls, though, so I've met him, but yeah, no contact with either of those two.
So was Paulie applying for Big Brother, or he was just a wingman for Cody at one of these casting calls?
No, he was not applying. He was just there, like he says on the show. He has the entertainment company. He was entertaining. That's all he was doing there. Didn't apply at that point. Anyway, I don't know what happened after that, but no, he was just hanging out. And I was like, when I saw him on the cast, I was like, he legitimately should have been cast because he was schmoozing ladies and everything. Like, he's just as good at it as Cody is, so I'm not surprised he's on there.
And so were you impressed with his run here, that he ends up going up on the block? He definitely seemed like he was getting a little nervous tonight. He gave a little bit of a scathing goodbye message to Jose. I pulled that clip. Let me play. This is Cody's goodbye message for Jose.
Jose, there's a couple things that you should have learned if you watched my brother's season. Is that you never underestimate that Califury charm, and you never underestimate that Califury social game.
Hey, Jose, a couple of things you gotta know. You don't mess with the social game of the Califury.
Jose, there's a couple things that you should have learned.
Yeah, should have learned. Now, Johnny Mac, is that the best example of social game bragging to another person about how good your social game is?
I think it was good. It wasn't amazing. Like, I've been in his situation before. HOH comes up to you and they're like, hey, do you feel cool with being a pawn? Like, a lot of times they want to put you up as a pawn. You can either go with it or you could get angry at them and become the target. So in that sense, he did the right thing and just went with it, and it worked out for him. I mean, it's not the most amazing move ever, but I think it's the basic move that you do in that situation.
Hey, that's where this clip came from, when Clay asked you if you wanted to go up on the block as a pawn.
Yeah. No! Yeah. But, I mean,
Genesis
not
of
use
that.
the veto. That's where you draw the line. That's where you're like, no, I can do whatever I want. But when
so he asked you not to use the veto, is that what it was?
Yeah. Those initial conversations where you're trying to, like, save yourself from getting nominated, I mean, if they float the idea to you about being a pawn, they're probably already gonna do it. That's my take on it. I don't know.
Okay. All right. I know people in the chat room are getting antsy about getting into talking about we have a new HOH at this hour. Anything else from the episode that you guys want to discuss?
No, the only thing I wanted to discuss was take Frank to task for denying us what could have been an hour of fabulous television. He learned nothing from Mike Boogie during Big Brother 14 because Mike Boogie never would have done this. Frank let the cat out of the bag to the girls last night, I believe it was, to Natalie, who then told Bronte and Bridget. All of them were in on the know, even though they voted to evict Pauly. They knew that Jose was going to be leaving. And that's what turned Jose from a supremely confident person into just a confident person. And I blame Frank for that. So I don't know why he did that. I think he was just trying to better position himself in the house, but it caused a ruckus with him and Tiffany. And I guess we can get into that in the live feed. Sorry. I'm a little confused. Did you want to, like, things that happened previously before this HOH, is that in the live feed section or?
No,
in the
I think that's all on the table now.
But Frank and Tiffany got into an argument last night over the information that Frank was disseminating to the rest of the house, and that's what made me make that comparison to Tiffany and her older sister, because she had an emotional outburst with Frank, and Frank was a bit of a jerk as well.
But Johnny Mac, can you see any strategic upside for Frank to spill the beans to the other side of the house? Do you feel like that is something where if now somebody from that side gets into power, they don't resent him as much?
I think it's more that should have been saved. That kind of move should be saved until like at least 4 or 5, 6 people are gone. Like right now, that just raises a red flag that you're playing all sides of the house, which is too early for doing that. And that has to come at some point, but now's not a good time to be doing that. Now people know. I think he would have been better just being like, after it happened, be like, sorry, I couldn't tell you, I don't know where my head was at, and just playing dumb. I think that was a better move.
Right. And it should be apparent that his alliance was not very happy with him because they see what he's doing. They see that he's trying to protect himself at the cost to the greater alliance, and of course they don't like that. So Frank, not good.
Okay, let's take a couple of questions here with Johnny Mac, and then we'll get into the HOH. This is from Byron, who says, how do you think that the other side of the house managed to persuade the weak-minded players to vote Jose out? Johnny Mac, do you have any thoughts on this?
What actually? I'm not sure exactly what. So, how the vets persuaded the other people to vote?
Sure, let's take it that way. How did they get these new players to stick with the 8-pack?
I think, well, a lot of the ones that are aligning with them are the super fans, and the ones that are not aren't really that familiar with the show. So I think that has on some level that plays into it. Yeah, and then I think the ones that align with them could see that with this roadkill thing, whoever is in the minority alliance has to win both competitions, or you're just gonna get picked off one by one.
Do you like the roadkill?
I'd like to see how it plays out. I mean, like I said, it's definitely favoring the majority alliance. Like, unless you can win both competitions, your team is done. So I think it's different. I like it better than just giving the MVP to Alyssa every week. At least there's like a game plan in it. So like this new rendition of MVP, at least there's another something to get your heart racing a little bit.
Okay. We'll see how it plays out on Sunday for week 2. This is from Elias, who says, if there were returning house guests in season 17, would Johnny Mac have worked with them or tried to get them out? What would you have done?
I don't know. Like, honestly, that would be a game time decision. But, I mean, the super fan in me would want to work with them. I mean, let's be honest. Yeah.
That's funny.
I feel like the move is always to go with the vets. I mean, we've seen it time and time again now that whenever this shakes out, it's the vets against the newbies, whether it's on Big Brother or Survivor or whatever. You know, the vets are always going to take control of the game, and you can only better your position by moving to the vets, because if the minority alliance, the newbies, if they get power, they're going to go after the vets, and if the vets get power, they're going to go after the newbies. Nobody's going to target you if you go with the vets, I don't feel like, unless you really make some enemies, maybe like Michelle did earlier with Bridget. But, besides that, I feel like your position would be pretty valid.
Yeah.
But, John, does it annoy you that, look, probably one day you're going to play Big Brother again. Does it annoy you that you're not playing with a bunch of first-time players, that you might have to go and play against all people that know what they're doing?
Yeah, I think people in general think I'm pretty dumb, so I don't think it really matters either way. So I'd be okay either way.
You would have been so made with these first-time players.
Yeah, that'd be so fun. It seems like a lot of them just have no idea who you are, so you can mess with them a little bit.
Yeah, I think that would be a good spot. Martin Schmidt said, knowing that an evicted house guest is coming back, is it unfair to play the goodbye videos? And if they show them, should the house guests not see all of them? Do you have any issue with that? They know they're bringing somebody back, but they're still making everybody make the goodbye videos?
Yeah, that's a tough question, because last year was as far as I know, maybe you guys know differently, but last year when we were running back and forth on the slip and slide, that was the first time they've ever told someone that they've told the house guests like that far out in advance that these next couple people have a shot at coming back in. I feel like every other time it's been a surprise. Like they might have thought it was coming, but they didn't know for sure.
Yeah, and they said the same thing in Big Brother 16, Big Brother 17. They basically said, just because you're out doesn't, or just because you're evicted doesn't mean you're eliminated from the game or something like that. So
16 was similar.
Yeah,
okay.
I will say, I do have a question for John though. Like for instance, they just showed 4 goodbye messages for tonight. When later on tonight, when Jose goes to sequester, don't they give him a DVD with all of the goodbye messages on the full message? They don't. They just show these 4 and that's it.
At least my first time evicted, I didn't. All I saw was on stage, like what you guys saw.
Okay.
When
you were evicted the second time, yeah.
They didn't show any on the live show, so I did get to see a couple. I didn't get to see, or there were only 3 people left at that. I think I did see all of them, but only because there were only 3 people left at that point.
Right.
So,
maybe
maybe I wouldn't know if they would show them all of those goodbye messages.
Okay.
But maybe in fairness' sake, they would have to. But
nobody ever said Big Brother was fair.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Yeah, getting back to like those goodbye messages can play into your strategy, even though they're for entertainment. Like I tried to, when I thought I had too many votes on jury, you try to tick people off, and then there's times when if you tick people off there, they're going to come back in gutting for you because they're like, oh, this is what you really think. So it is going to upset the game a little bit.
Okay. R. Vandervest says, what happens if a team can't decide or agree who to give the HOH to? Yeah, this is a pretty interesting thing where you had a lot of people talking about, okay, Victor is somebody to target and, okay, throw the competition to try to... So, like, how do the people on the team decide, like, if James and Victor are both, okay, one of us has to be HOH, Johnny Mac, how do they decide this?
That's tough. Like, there's I know in All Stars we were told, like, if you two can't come to an agreement, you're both nominated.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there's some like behind the scenes rule we just don't know about. But I feel like they would talk about it on the feeds. With this competition in particular, I think it would be like we're racing across this balance beam and knocking each other off to get that blue berry or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like it's not as big of a deal in the team challenge though, because like let's say it's James. Let's say they go down to 2 people. It's just James and just Victor. They're the only 2 left because Bronte and Natalie have been eliminated. Let's say, and they're trying to decide who is going to become the HOH. I mean, they're going to have to make a deal with each other about, well, you can take HOH because they know they'll both be safe no matter what, which is not necessarily true in any other Big Brother season.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's get into talking about the live feeds. I know people are getting antsy to hear us get into this. That sound good to you, John?
Let's do it live.
Let's do it live. All right. So if you're gonna bounce out, we'll be back on Sunday night to talk about everything that we see from the HOH competition, and then the next roadkill competition live on Sunday night at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time. And without further ado, let's talk the live feeds.
The Office of Civil Defense has issued the following message. This is
a spoiler.
Warning.
A spoiler.
Warning means that an actual
spoiler
against this country has been detected and that protective action should be taken.
Okay. All right. We're going to talk about the spoilers now. All right, Brent. Do we have a new HOH at this hour?
Rob, never underestimate that Calafiore charm or that Calafiore social game or that Calafiore balance because Paulie is the new head of household.
Jose, there's a couple things that you should have learned if you watched my brother's season. My brother, Cody.
Yeah, my brother. Hey, just like my brother, I'm the new HOH in this house. So people are going to have to finally do what I tell them to do, or they're going to be going out the door. How about that, Brent?
I like it, and I'm excited for a Paulie HOH. I know you're not, but
no,
I am.
Because I think it's going to be the beginning of the end for Paulie and the HOH-itis. Hey, everybody's got to do what I start telling them to do, or they're going to be out the door. Okay?
I'm just curious because I don't know how he's going to make this decision without Derek around to tell him what to do.
Oh, zing.
Ding.
Yeah. Okay. How do you think that Paulie is going to fare with all the power now, Johnny Mac?
Paul, you're HOH and we love you now.
Yeah. Well, but we heard a lot on the feeds this past week where Paulie was saying, these guys are making me so mad. I wish I could give them a piece of my mind, but I can't because I'm on the block right now. But now with all of the power, is this the point where Paulie starts to wield the I don't know what's the right word. Swing the axe.
Hammer?
Yeah.
The heavy hammer? Yeah, I think
hammer on fools.
Yeah, I think unfortunately these 8 have him convinced he's one of them, and they're all safe now. I think he's going to go after the newbies, and they're going to get exactly what they want this week, and then they can take him out at a later date.
Yeah. Brent, how do you think this week is shaping up to you?
I think clearly Victor and Paul are going to be going up on the block. James is saying on the feeds that he threw the competition, and it appears that Victor and Paul are both aware that James threw the competition. I think it's going to be Victor and Paul, and I think it's going to be another probably a boring week in the Big Brother house. Even if somebody on the minority side wins the roadkill competition, at this point the vote would be like something like 7-3 unless they could switch. They would need at least 3 people to switch because they can't count on the HOH to tiebreak the way they want. So I don't see that happening.
While I feel like the result is going to be boring, I do feel like that we have a high forecast for a lot of fights this week.
I don't know. You really think so? I'm dubious. I told the chat room that I was a little dubious when you said you thought Paulie was going to get HOH-itis. I think he's a pretty amiable guy, and he's going to, do what his alliance wants. I mean, luckily, he really can't screw this up, I don't think. I think the decisions are all made for him because not only does his alliance want him to put up Victor and Paul were the most opposing members of the alliance that voted against him tonight. So I'm sure he's going to want to go after them.
Yeah. It looks like there could be some early 4th of July fireworks, Johnny Mac.
Yeah, and I don't think Victor or Paul are people that are going to stay quiet after it comes down. They're just going to go off the handle. They're going to try to win a veto or a roadkill. Well, not even the roadkill could save them at this point. So try to win a veto and say whatever they want. They're going to flip out when it's...
Now, speaking of the 4th of July, I know that the last couple of years that the 4th of July did wreak some havoc with the Big Brother schedule of 4th of July week. There's a big fireworks show that they do at the CBS lot where they have the Big Brother house. Do we think anything is going to be altered this week because of that, Johnny Mac? That 4th of July is what, Monday? So that's a pretty quiet day in the Big Brother house, right?
Yeah, we had a little celebration inside. I think we had a feast.
A feast?
Yeah, so it was fun. Yeah.
Right. And remember, this year this past week actually, they had the veto ceremony on Sunday and not Monday. So they may stick with that for one more week at least because of the 4th of July coming up.
Okay, that's good. So maybe for Sunday we will know the results of the veto competition when we do our live show Sunday night.
And the ceremony, yes.
Yes. Okay. Good.
I remember with the impending 4th of July last year, the whole week of competitions took place like tonight.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yes, we remember that well.
I think Big Brother 16 had something similar, I think, as well. So good to know with that coming up. All right. I want to get back into some questions. Brett, any other interesting fallout from the HOH competition?
Not that I can tell right offhand. Bronte and Natalie appear to be worried. They really shouldn't be, especially Natalie. I think she's in good with the people who are in power. I think they like her. It's so funny, Rob. We did a show where we ranked all the house guests, 1 to 12. We were talking about all the new house guests, and we were almost all in agreement that Natalie was by far the worst player of all these 12 new players, and I could not have been more wrong, just like I could not have been more wrong about ranking
on both ends, really, Brent.
On
really.
ranking Jose as number 1. Johnny Mac, if you don't know, I ranked Jose as my number 1 ranked house guest. Anyway, so Natalie, I know, crazy, right?
Which was karmic retribution for Brent bragging about picking Steve for 365 days.
Exactly. But I think Natalie, she's doing a good job of being basically inoffensive, which you can't say that about Victor and Paul and Bronte.
No. Okay, let's do some questions. Doom Tribe. Oh, yay, more comps. Is the new guy from BB Can being paid on a per competition basis? Johnny Mac, is the idea of more competitions off-putting to you? I don't mind that. Look, there's a lot of boring shows that better than the have-not competition.
Yeah. I mean, you might care about the have-not competition in the house, but like when I watch the show, I'd always be like, I don't really care about this. It doesn't really affect my life at all.
I don't have any problem with the competition. I have a problem with how they are doing this insane schedule and then sticking it on a Friday night when no one watches television. It's like you have TV gold here. Why aren't you putting this in where people are jibber-jabbering about James's prank or something? Like, put it in the show.
Yeah.
What's your issue with it, Brent? That you feel like that it won't get good ratings?
Well, it's not going to get as good a ratings as they do on Thursday. I can tell you that right away. But that's not my point. My point is that they're treating it as a bit of an afterthought, even though they're putting it in its own special night. It just if you're going to put something on TV that you want people to watch, you sure as hell don't put it on Friday night television. I'm sorry.
Have you heard of The Amazing Race?
Well, not many people watch that show.
It's fine. Don't sweat the what night they're gonna put it on TV. That's fine.
Look, that's not. It's not. I'm not judging the ratings. I'm just saying that it doesn't seem like there's a lot of. They have a TV gold, like I said. They could put it in a show and it would be great. They could play it week to week to week. They could let the house guests watch. But instead, they're going to cram it all together. And somebody was saying, well, they might pre-tape this and then show us all, on July 23rd or whatever the heck it is. But that's not what they're going to do. They're going to do it at least, day of tape, because if Glenn loses the first competition, they can't have him out and about in the boogie down Bronx somewhere where people would know the results of the competition.
Yeah, but you don't think that it has the potential to be sort of like an event, like if we had some sort of like a arena or something like that? You have all the house guests like in the bleachers, a la like a Redemption Island, and then like we have like the first battle between Glenn and Jose go head to head. Like, are you not entertained?
All right.
Oh my God! Yes.
I criticized Taryn for judging the whole roadkill MVP twist, whatever the heck it's called, before it was even played out. I said, give it a chance.
Yeah, you're Mr. I love the twists.
I love the twist. I just don't like how they're doing this one, but I will give it the benefit of the doubt, and we'll see how it plays out 3 weeks from tonight.
Yeah, I think let's at least watch the show before we see how it goes. It might be fun. Instead of bringing everybody in the backyard to play in a competition. Like if you brought them out one by one, and it's like, everybody can, Glenn can come out like tip his cap like Old Timers Day, and then goes right off into the sunset.
I hope whoever wins the battle back shows up in the Road Killer trailer.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
Hey, I wrote it back in. Hello.
Winnebago.
Yeah.
Okay. Jen Manning says, will the house guests know about the battle back? Johnny Mac, do you think that they will tip them off to this?
No, probably not. So. It'll probably be live show night. Julie will be like, house guests, we have one crazy twist for you.
Yeah.
I do hope that
oh my God, Julie, no!
I hope she drops a hint. Sometimes she screws with them a little bit. I hope she drops a hint that will just send everybody's, tails wagging or something.
Yeah.
That would make them freak out. That would become the topic of conversation for, weeks until it actually happened.
Okay. This is from Art Wonderlay. He says, the real question, why is Tiffany's hat so small? Johnny, does Tiffany have a very small hat?
She's a girl of many hats from what I've seen. I thought, the mouse one seems to be appropriate size.
Right.
The one from the live show today, I mean, yeah, it was kind of small, but at the same time trying to show off the braids. So, I mean,
Yeah.
Rob,
it
she
can't
does have the green beanie though. There is
Okay.
a green hat.
Is
something
it
or
the
other,
one?
so. Huh?
Is it the green beanie?
I'm unsure of that. It could be a lookalike. It could be an
Okay.
imposter.
All right, we will see if we can get a picture of Tiffany's hat to discuss how small it is. All right, is Big Brother doing too much with all these twists and competitions and extra nominations? Could it do anything to take away from the actual gameplay? What is this? A first-time Big Brother watcher here? This is Big Brother.
I like, even though there's a lot of twists, I like them all better than Battle of the Block. Even if it's setting the bets up to win, I think it's more fun.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I hate watching a rigged competition. Johnny Mac, it was fun watching you last season, but then the second time they asked you to do it and you had to do it again, it was like, really, this is such terrible television.
Yeah.
I don't like watching people play or essentially rig the game for themselves. It's no fun.
Okay.
Yeah, just like 4 pawns go up, like, what are we doing here? Let's just get to the meat.
Okay. Yes. Okay. This is from T Civic says, I thought Julie wasn't going to read the vote count this year. Okay, this is I got to own this. This is my bad. Back before the season came up, this was a rumor that was tweeted. I read it on not going to say the site that put it on its Facebook page and said, hey, do you think this is a good idea of that they're doing this year? And I took it as canon. It was a rumor. It is not true, and I have to own that. And I reported it as if it was true, and I got duped. So sorry about that.
I will say I am thrilled that rumor was not valid, because this is one of the few things that as fact in the Big Brother house. You can't trust anybody's word, but when the vote count comes in, there were at least, as in tonight, there were 7 people that voted to evict Jose. That's all they know. So I like it that they're making them own their votes.
Johnny Mac, do you think that would be a potential good idea for Big Brother, for Julie to just say, and the House has voted, and Jose, you are evicted, and not reveal that it was a 7-4 vote?
It would change things. It would probably, I mean, I don't think it's a problem this season, but it would probably end all the one-sided votes.
Yeah, that's why I liked it.
But, because Survivor, I mean, you guys probably know each other's handwriting by the end of it, but at least Jeff doesn't say...
Yeah.
If he doesn't have to read all the votes, he doesn't read all the votes, So that makes things a little more mysterious, and you probably have a little more freedom there with your voting.
Yeah.
But I think that would stop a lot of people from being so scared when they're casting their vote, for sure.
Right.
Because that does change a lot, but it would change the game.
Zach Kennedy says, is it always awkward and quiet in the house after someone leaves? Brent, could you comment on the Jose walking out? He hugged everybody, but you could hear a pin drop.
I have never seen such awkwardness on an eviction show in my life. No one said anything. They didn't say anything till he walked out the door, and then they all went over to his picture when it turned black and white, and a minute and a half after it turned black and white, they're still looking at it. So, it was crazy how, and Rob, like I said at the beginning, there was no boom because, Jose was talking about, if I get voted out, I'm going to cuss everybody out, and Paul said, I'm going to go berserk if, Jose gets voted out and we find out people are lying to us. They did none of that. Nothing. Absolutely terrible television.
Johnny Mac, could you tell me that when everybody goes, they get evicted, and then everybody goes and stands by the memory wall, is that organic? Is that just like everybody's like, okay, I guess we should go look at that? Or are you sort of like, all right, then after they walk out the door, everybody go stand by the memory wall? Is it just like there's nothing else to do other than look at the picture turn black and white?
Yeah, it's organic. It's never instructed, but you have enough people that have seen, everyone's at least seen the show, and a lot of people are fans. That's what you do.
You're supposed to do that. So everybody, for instance, after the eviction, everybody decided to go let's all go stand over here. That would be fine.
Yeah. I mean, that no one would have a problem with that. It's just like so unnatural for that to happen, especially this first eviction. Like when Jace left, it's weird. Like you've known this is going to happen for your entire stay in the Big Brother house, which is like 2 weeks, half a month. You've all been this big family, and then suddenly one of you just died. They're not coming back.
Wow.
As far as you know, it's kind of like a heavy moment, you know. When I remember when Jace walked out.
Yeah, heavy. Okay. Miriam wants to know, was hashtag Mosiah, was hashtag Messiah Jose downfall not wearing pants, the curse of the streaker? You're not wearing a lot of pants in the house, but Johnny Mac, do you feel like that is the prophecy that the Messiah must leave the house and then battle his way back in to be the true Messiah of the newbies?
That would be so golden if he comes back that way. Oh my God, I can't wait to see if that happens. He's an athletic guy. I mean, I don't know how much is going on upstairs, but yeah, possibly could happen. Could definitely be epic if it does happen.
Yeah. Well, you do feel like that one of these people is going to get a second chance. It'll probably be like a revolving door type situation, but you got to think that, you know, we're going to have one of these athletic guys go out and then ultimately win their way back into the house. At least there will be some fireworks upon their return.
Yeah, it should just be like Survivor, like hang on to a giant pole every single time. I think that's what it should be.
I think there's a good chance that Paul would probably come back. I mean, I think he's probably going to be evicted over the next few evictions. And if not this week, then, you know, the week after, because the Majority Alliance pretty much has their say, you know, as long as they don't lose both of the competitions. And if that's true, then Paul's definitely going to go home, and I can see him as somebody who was definitely, you know, come back into the house.
Okay, let's do another question or two.
He's built for endurance.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah,
not a big dude, but he's muscular.
The other guys, I think that could help him. Okay. Joshua Miller says, house guest trusts Tiffany. Did they not see Vanessa play last year? Are you surprised that people are so trusting of Tiffany?
I am and I'm not. It sounds like a lot of them really didn't watch a whole lot of 17. I know Day is onto her at this point. It's just
She's
a matter
in an
of when
alliance with her, though.
Yeah, but she knows, like, this girl can't be trusted all the way to the end. At some point, that trigger's going to be flipped. It's just, like, who's going to do it first.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to see if Tiffany is somebody who can let other people dictate, or if she feels the need to dictate. I'm thinking it's the former at this point. I think she has the ability to let other people call the shots in the greater alliance and allow herself to sort of go along with everybody but still have input, whereas Vanessa last year never would have stood for that. She wants to take control of the game. She has to have control of the game, and she was never going to throw any competition.
Okay. Yeah. All right, let's do a couple more. This is from Dustin West, who says, as a buyback house guest himself, would Rockstar DMD have liked Battleback better in his season? Better odds of returning one-on-one? Now, you beat out 4 people to come back. Would you have preferred the competition format going into it?
Yeah, if I was the last one before they would come back, I mean, yeah, who doesn't love better odds? That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, you just had to go one-on-one with somebody because you were the last of those 4 people. What was it? It was like Shelly, Becky, and who else was it? Jackie also was in the mix.
Yeah, so it would have been Becky. I mean, they were all pretty good at endurance. So if it was going to be endurance, that's it. If it was going to be random hockey pucks thrown at a spinning thing, then well, whoever's going to win that is going to win that.
Yeah.
Odds are always better against 1 than 3, though, for sure.
Yeah. Yes. You're a real Bronte mathematician.
I just like cutting up pies and fractions and things.
I saw you put out a tweet about Bronte. You were very proud of her wearing a retainer in the house.
Yeah, because everyone thinks like, oh, you can ditch it after a year or 2. You can't. That is for life until you die, or you're like, I want crooked teeth again.
Wow. Okay. Tough talk from Johnny Mac, the rock star dentist. Just Mike TV says, Johnny Mac, would you say that Paulie is playing a similar game to yours? There's a big alliance that he's not part of but still associated with. Are you looking at Paulie and saying, like, hey, that guy reminds me of me?
Yeah, like like we talked about earlier, the move where he just kind of accepted going up as a pawn, I think he played that as best as he could. I think he feels a little more in the alliance than I did. Like, I knew whatever that big group was, I was not a part of it. I think he feels like he's in it, so that would be the only difference. But he's playing it all right. Also differently than me, I wouldn't try to win an HOH this early. But
Yeah. Okay.
He's going for it.
Let's do one last question with Johnny Mac. From Valley Park, is there any chance Corey might accidentally get himself into a bromance that makes Nicole a little jealous? Is that possible?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe she could. I don't know. I don't see him interacting with many people. He's just kind of like I picture him kind of like Frankenstein. He's just kind of like dead set right at the camera when he's talking in the diary room and with other people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't see a whole lot of emotion there. He's like a weird one to look at. He's just kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what to read out of him.
Brett, do you have a take on potential Corey and Nicole showmance?
Well, he's not gay, so I'm just putting that out there.
Okay,
He's not gay.
nobody here saying that he is.
I know, right? I know, it's crazy. No, I mean, she's joking about it on the feeds, but I agree with what Alex and Taryn said earlier in the week, in that I think Nicole is fighting it, but I'm sure at some point there will be some sort of progression of this showmance sort of thing that she has with Corey. So I look forward to that.
Yeah.
And by the way, I never really noticed this, but I don't remember Nicole's voice being as annoying.
Oh.
I'm sorry, but she does whine a lot, and she's in power this week. For
Oh
heaven's
my
sake.
gosh.
So why are you whining?
First week power trip.
Gosh.
That we didn't have the last time, right?
Yeah. I thought Bronte was going to annoy me, but it's been
Yeah.
Nicole.
Last thing, Johnny Mac, what do you think about when James said, like, well, I don't know what's going on in this house this year. I mean, last year we all got along. This house is crazy.
Lies.
Do you remember when everybody got along last summer?
Yeah, I mean, I remember when Vanessa and I were kind of on the outs and everyone else got along. I remember that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of fighting last summer, James. Maybe you're trying to like blank that out, PTSD, but there's no one's ever all nice.
Yeah, he doesn't remember Davon with what did she say, like the point blank and the period, and then and then Audrey was in on it, and Vanessa fighting with Austin, and all sorts of stuff.
All right. Well, Johnny Mac, great job. Really appreciate you coming on with us, especially this early on, to give us your take on these people that you played with. I know that the audience loves to hear from you, and I know for Brent and I, very happy to have you on with us.
Oh, thanks so much for having me. This is fun.
Yeah. What are you up to this summer besides working?
Pretty much working. I'm going to that Hearts of Reality thing in Florida at the end of the summer. I've been going to New York on the weekends, getting into improv comedy.
Oh,
stuff like
wow.
That. So, yeah, it's been a cool hobby you do on the weekend, and just paying off them student loans though. That's the big thing.
What do you do with improv comedy? Are you taking a class, or you're in a troupe?
Yeah, no, you can't just go right in. Like, I've been watching shows and then going to like a class there. It's just a bunch of weird people just hanging out. It's awesome.
It's like Big Brother. No, but
it's exactly like that. Yeah.
Good for you. That's really great to work on a craft like that. Are you still doing stuff on your YouTube channel?
It's hard. I want to. The intention's there. I want to. It's just that I've fallen behind, and if I'm like tired at the end of the night, I just don't have the energy to like do a good video. So hopefully it'll come back at some point.
Yeah, you're out there working hard. You can follow Johnny Mac on Twitter. He's at RockstarDMD. Did by any chance, if you can discuss this, did they call you? Did they take your temperature on potentially being one of these returnees?
No, not at all. I was no contact.
I just feel like with these group of returnees, though, I do feel like that there's like some that they said, okay, let's not call the A-list. Let's go. Okay, this with all due respect to the
Shade.
returnees, and Frank is probably borderline on the A list, but I think that they said, okay, well, let's save our heavy hitters for some big All-Star season, and then okay, let's go down to like our second tier for some of these people to bring back this season.
That just makes me feel good.
Yeah. No, I think that that's
I don't
what the
know if
case
that's wishful
is.
thinking.
Doesn't make any sense otherwise. All right. Well, Johnny Mac, thanks again. Brent, great job. You can follow Brent on Twitter. He's at OneLuckyGay on Twitter. We will have a show coming up. We'll probably go on Facebook Live around 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the Roberts Podcast Facebook page, which if you want that, I haven't given that link out in probably in a couple of years. You can go to facebook.com/RobHasAPodcast if you want to like the page and be notified when we go live in the morning. Myself and Alex Kidwell will talk through the overnight events from the live feeds, and hopefully we will get our questions back from Jose that we will be emailing in to CBS. All right, do we have a hashtag, Brent?
Oh, gosh, and I said I was going to remember some hashtags, and I still forgot to write them down. John, think of something.
Johnny Mac, you have a hashtag? You're an improv comic.
Yeah, I mean, well, the main thing on
Yeah,
my
this is
mind
your chance.
Yeah. Hashtag Battleback Messiah. That's what I want to see.
All right, Battleback Messiah. That is Jose. We hope to see him come back in the Boogie Down Battle of the Block coming up on Friday, the 22nd. All right, so thanks so much to everybody who joined us live. Our next live recap will be on Sunday night. Myself and Taryn Armstrong will go through everything. 4th of July weekend coming up. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Thanks so much to Scott St. Pierre behind the scenes, pulling all the questions, and looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say in the comments. Take care, everybody.